Today is March 23rd, and this is The View with Catherine Chang. Today's topic is Taiwan and the US-Iran war. The US-Iran war is now entering its fourth week, and the key question is whether this war will have an impact on Taiwan, especially in terms of arms sales. The Economist recently published an article and suggesting that Taiwan is in perhaps the most precarious position, and pointing out that potential delays in the U.S. arms sales. However, I don't agree with it. Why? Here are some points. A, in the Economist report entitled, Will Americans' Asia Allies Get Dragged into the Iran War? The Economist argues that Taiwan could be affected because the key weapons it has purchased from the United States, such as Patriot missile systems and HIMARS, are also in high demand in the Middle East. And the report suggests that this could lead to the delays in the U.S. arms sales to Taiwan. However, the U.S. House of Representatives held a hearing on arms sales, and the U.S. officials reaffirms that the 6 assurance to Taiwan remain unchanged, and the arms deliveries to Taiwan could be accelerated. And this appears to contradict the Economist's report. B, at the same time, Taiwan hosted the 9th Yushan Forum, and it is the largest in its history, with more than 70 political leaders representing 22 countries. And the distinguished guest includes former Polish President Lech Walesa. We can see in the middle, this is the former Polish President Lech Walesa. And also Taiwan's President William Lai also delivered remarks at the opening ceremony. And this was President Lai at the opening ceremony. In addition, I had an exclusive interview with Taiwan's Foreign Minister Lin Jialong. Well, this is Lin Jialong. We have a talk and interview on The View with Catherine Chang. Well, he said that over the past 2 years, more than 7,000 foreign dignitaries have visited Taiwan. See, U.S. President Donald Trump and Japanese Prime Minister Sena Takaichi held a summit on March 19th, and both sides reaffirms that the peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait are essential to regional security and global prosperity. Both the U.S. and Japan oppose any unilateral changes to the status quo. And Taiwan is a sovereign and independent country. I think in the upcoming Trump-Xi meeting, Xi Jinping cannot ignore Taiwan's presence. Here are the top stories. First, I want to talk about Trump's 48 hours ultimatum to Iran, and Taiwan said gas supplies are secure through May. U.S. President Donald Trump warned that if Iran doesn't fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours, the U.S. will obliterate their power plants. Iran strongly rejected the warning and saying that Iran will target U.S. and ally facilities in the Middle East and fully close the Strait of Hormuz. Taiwan's Ministry of Economic Affairs said that natural gas supplies has been secured through the end of May, with additional LNG imports from non-Middle East sources, and they will plan to ensure stable supply in June. Meanwhile, Taiwan is considering to restart its nuclear power plants. President Lai said that the government is planning to restart the number 2 and number 3 nuclear power plants, with the review plan to be submitted by the end of March, and raising questions about a shift from Taiwan's non-nuclear homeland policy. However, President Lai said that the possible restart of nuclear power is not only in line with the law, but also reflects strong economic growth, the global demand for low-carbon energy, and rising electricity needs in the AI era. He also said that the government will continue to support renewable energy, including wind, solar, and hydrogen, emphasizing that nuclear power can go hand in hand with green energy. On the other hand, President Lai inspected Taiwan's first indigenous submarine. President Lai visited the Haikun submarine to inspect the latest testing progress. The interiors of the vessels was revealed for the first time, and President Lai said submarines are a key defensive weapons for Taiwan to build strategic deterrence, counter maritime blockades, and expand our strategic depth. He also urged opposition parties to approve the approximately $400 million special defense budget in order to develop a Taiwan dome in response to China's ambitions to invade Taiwan in 2027. In addition, the U.S. and Japan reaffirmed peace in the Taiwan Strait. U.S. President Donald Trump and Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi held talks on the 19th. After the meeting, the White House said that the two leaders reaffirmed their commitment to peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait and oppose any unilateral attempts to change the status quo, including by force or coercion. Also, since Korea listed Taiwan as the China blanket Taiwan in its new online immigration entry system, Taiwan Foreign Minister Lin Jialong urged the Korean government to correct the listing. Otherwise, Taiwan will change the Republic of Korea to Korea blanket South in its ARC, effective on March 31st, 2026. In the end, I want to share with you that an Australian traveler, Brendan, was moved by kindness of Taiwan. While exhausted during the trip around the island, he was moved to tears after strangers checked on him and even gave him $1,000 NT. And he said Taiwanese people are truly amazing, even helping to regain his confidence. We know that as a Taiwanese, it is a small act of kindness like this that make me truly, truly proud to be a Taiwanese. And that would be the view for today. And I'm Catherine from Taipei. Today is Monday. I hope you all have a nice Monday. I'll see you again.